my colleagues are raising a much more serious issue on technology, that of a reliance on technology when we are not properly structured for technology. You see, we are picking this technology without the foundations of technology. And so you find we are being told, use this particular app, for example, but the whole place, the foundation of that was not there. The people who are dealing with it did not go to training or did not have enough money to buy certain equipment or something like that. So we're going to have a situation in our hands where technology doesn't work for us. But in Kenya, by the way, we are only, 54,000 maybe, 54 million people. And we can still go back and verify things manually. And I think it's better to start doing that, because in this country we have chiefs, assistant chiefs, village elders. We've got, from primary school, we've got committees and we've got headmasters and so on and so on. It's possible to get all that data. In fact, a carry-on data, follow-up data. For example, if somebody is going to university, you can go back to their former secondary school and find their data, isn't it? So anyway, the whole situation is, I'm just trying to say, while we are thinking about how to improve on what we are doing, especially in this sector of education, we must have a backup. The backup is we can still consult. After all, I mean, we have got we've got MCAs, we've got MPs whose interests really would be to say, if you told, for example, any of these colleagues, say, look at this school. How is it like? Oh, go get this, that data. They'll use their own means, actually, to bring that data, the proper data, because it's in their interests. And they know those elders, they know those people. And it's very easy for them to actually coordinate that. So it is a matter of saying, if you're in government, don't overlook the role of everybody else, because there are roles that can actually help you run the government better. And this is the whole idea of opposition and government working to deal with one situation. This particular situation requires concerted efforts. It requires that you don't look at anybody as though they are opposed to anything, but we want a thing that works for all of us. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. I want to agree with my colleagues that if it's not working, let's quickly come around each other, come around and say, what do we now do to make it work? And I do want to lend more effort to the fact that if you want to use a technology, let's make sure that the people on the ground can actually afford that technology, number one, are trained for that technology, number two, number three, can we even verify that our technology is the latest? It's something that we cannot, that cannot be manipulated by someone else. Right. But remember, by the way, and knowing from my own knowledge as a former minister, that this country is not yet wired completely for these technologies. Even in the city, there are places in the city where you can't get any network, even in the city, or your network is very poor, or connectivity is very poor. What about in those rural areas? The problem with our headquarters here in Nairobi is that they think that one size fits all, okay? If we decide today we are going to have this, it must fit for all villages. And I know where I come from. There are places where that technology will not even work. There's not even electricity to go with. There is no infrastructure or like roads. You can't even reach certain places. And so you give, it's like you give capitation. And some people have to travel distant just to a bank, to bank whatever they have, or to collect money from. I mean, you can say you give me 1 million, for example, but the amount of money I used to travel from my school to the bank and back is not included in that whole thing, and it makes it so difficult for people even to. So anyway, the situation is, one size does not fit all, but let's make sure first of all that we wire the country properly for steamer, electricity, for communication networks, so that technology then can be applied to everybody.
All right. Matters education hitting the front pages. High varsity fees ruining our lives as a Daily Nation. And no papers, no plan. Why exam season is in jeopardy on the front page of the Standard. Time for us to take a break. When we come back, we'll try and take a look at